It's okay, but I think there's better things that could be done. Galio flashes in with his W for a nice engage. This is going to help his team a lot. I tried to time everything, but it didn't work out. I flash in, I try to kill the Lulu. I go for the kill on the Kazakhs, which I do, but I end up falling to Jinx, who is hyper fed. YouTube, welcome back. We're playing against Teemo, obviously, as you know, my usual MO. Not one of my favorite matchups. I hate everything ranged. It's not really something I like to do. And I don't really wish that upon any of, my fellow Darius mates. Not that they have to deal with ranged typically. They typically, get to deal with melee champions and some nice matchups, which I'm happy for them. However, me, it's a little bit of a different story. But I'm not here to complain. I'm trying to figure out some solutions. How am I going to deal with the Teemo? What am I going to do? How do I put the rodent down? I don't like rats. I got to do something about it. So let's figure out what I'm going to do. There's an idea I do have, and one way to deal with pests like this is like, before they get too much movement speed and they get out of hand, I think just engaging them early is a nice idea before they get too strong, which is why I do that. However, I leveled up E because I had the concept and the idea that he's going to run away. But he didn't. He stood his ground, and matter of fact, he tried to dodge my Q by walking in it. And he ended up using E and Q, which is maximum damage. But I don't have maximum damage because I didn't put QW. That's the misconception there. I didn't align with his choices, but I didn't know that. I thought he was gonna run away, and I could just pull him back and go for extra auto attacks, and he wouldn't be doing that. There's mismatches. However, as you can see, I wanted to use my E that I leveled up to my advantage. Not really the best of things that took place because he ends up killing me. At first I was, frustrated and not happy about this result, but I had to take a risk. I needed to see what could be done. I needed to test some limits, what I can do. And turns out that I can't do maneuvers like that. I wanted to get him to take 2 tower shots, but he only took 1. I made a miscalculation. These things, they do happen. It is what it is. But let's just take it on the chin and, move on and adapt. I have something good about my setup that I would like to talk about as I look for a potential engage here, which I think I do. Okay, so we go for a pull after he wanted to poke me on the tower, as he's been doing for the past 5 minutes. I go for a kill, which I think is just deserved, I earned this right. I earned this point, and I didn't do it with any jungle help. I did it by myself. I did it me. It was just me. And the thing I wanted to talk about is, I'm going double scaling HP, and something people keep forgetting is that it's better than flat HP after level 6 or 7. I said the words. After level 7, I'd say, because then you get 70 HP per one instead of a flat 60. There's that, and we also have to factor in cookies. I get maximum HP after nibbling on one of them. Nibbling? I don't nibble. Eat the whole thing, bro. Just bite it like a man. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, you get that HP plus that HP. You get a whole bunch of HP. Have a HP advantage up against a ranged champion. It's what you want. It's what I do. Now, my flash has come back up, and I want to let you in on a little maneuver that you can do. It is risk. There is risk involved. But, as you can see, I load up a Q, but I also flash onto him for an engage. I like this maneuver because it catches him off guard. However, we're going to have to, after I kill him, we're going to have to discuss some constraints and some why this is risky. This can only be done if you know that there's no one hiding in the bush. Now, last I checked, Lulu isn't roaming. Last I checked, the Galio is mid lane trading with the Veigar. And last I checked, I got word that Kazakhs was somewhere in the bot side or just about going into the chickens. So I went off of the things I knew, and it was just me versus the Teemo, and Teemo also doesn't have flash, so it was my only window to actually pull a maneuver like that off. That's the whole planning. Well, that was the theory, and I put it into practice, and would you look at that? We got a result right there. We actually killed the Teemo just like that off of the maneuver, which I like. So this is something you might be able to do, or don't do it. Just get a gank. Just install malware on his PC and get him to click forward towards you. Yeah, it's like the goose malware where he just takes where his mouse just loses control and it just clicks for him. You know, you could do that. You don't have to listen to me. Just do something else. Anyways, that's what we did. However, how are we gonna do? Oh, she got a triple kill. That's not good. We need to figure out some type of way to fix this issue, because this is not good for us. Okay, so a whole bunch of nothing but farming has been taking place. Does he have a CS lead? I mean, Teemo's gonna have a CS lead, because every time I want to CS, he's just gonna poke me and blind me and then cost me CS. That's just things that are gonna happen. You can only engage on him if he's in range and if you have your thumbs up. It's only ever so often, so you're just gonna have to concede a CS deficit. There's no other way. But what is my items? Sundered Sky. Yeah, experimental. I'm not too sure if this is the right maneuver. Do I do it now? No, because I don't really believe in the item like that. It's okay, but I think there's better things that could be done. Galio flashes in with his W for a nice engage. This is gonna help his team a lot. I tried to time everything, but it didn't work out. I flash in, I try to kill the Lulu, I go for the kill on the Kha'Zix, which I do, but I end up falling to Jinx, who is hyper-fed 9-2 with an infinity edge that she's shoving down my neck. It just hurts. But I can't do anything about it. Stupid. The AD carry is too strong, but we're gonna have to discuss this. So, you see, this type of play, it doesn't make me happy at all, because I didn't play well, but there's a big burden of performance right there. I don't get another opportunity to pull a drop on the Jinx anymore. That's the one chance I get. You see, there's something you need to know. In matches like these, in matches that are dire as these, where the AD carry is just too strong, she has a lot of peel, you can't really do anything about her and stuff like that, you can't afford to make misplays, you can't afford to play bad like that. You can't do that. And you have a very strict time limit. I would argue it is before Atakan spawns. I think it's between 14 minutes to 18 minutes where you need to show up to some important fight and rain havoc whichever way you see fit. I think you have to do it in between that time, because there are games that are just over at 20 minutes. I mean, before that. So when these types of things happen, I need to make sure that I get the job done. Now she sees me looking for a kill on her, and Rengar flashes over to her, but ends up giving her a kill. I think she's just going to kill her Khan as well. There's not really much I can do in a situation like that. She's just killing everybody, and there you go. As you can see, just like I've been discussing, we would lose if we waited until right now. It's over. Look, the game ended before 20 minutes, so what I said came to pass. So let's round it off in the post-game screen. Okay, so we lost. This isn't the best of results, of course, and you might be thinking, yeah, it's an unlucky game. Teemo just got carried. Yeah, I understand, but this is a common occurrence. These things, they happen very often. So I feel the need that I need to figure out the solution to this one way or the other. I must figure out a solution. I can't accept just let it go. Nah, I gotta do something about it. And the way, from what I see, especially since this is a match that is taking place sub GM, everyone says any matches under a certain elo, which would be under GM or under Challenger, whatever the things may be, depending on who you talk to, is winnable. So if that is the case, then I have to stress over a match like this. It must be done. This idea of let it go, no. Especially when it happens on a repetitive basis, I must figure out a solution. And looking back at a match like this, I saw one opportunity that was very vital. I tried to Timo once. Cool, I understand. These things, they take place. Cool. However, that wasn't the big reason as to why this game was lost. That one moment where I could have killed the Jinx, I didn't do so. There was a couple of things that went wrong there. First of all, I missed my Q onto the multiple targets. I only hit it on Kha'Zix. That's the first thing. Then I targeted Lulu. But I had reasons to do that. Because if I was to just aim for the Jinx, she would receive heals and then an extra shields. And then I would receive even more CC from the Lulu that isn't dead because I didn't aim for her throat. So I thought, take out the ambulance, then she has no health care, then we just kill her. However, I missed my abilities and I didn't do enough damage. Why does this happen? Well, you have to understand, there's pressure. Back is against the wall. It's the most important time in the entire game. There's a whole lot of pressure that comes with it, and I couldn't handle it. The adrenaline, like last game, when it's pumping, it's very difficult for me to, I think it's just something we're gonna have to try and get used to. Not that I think it's gonna happen, but the only way forward is like to just go right through it. So we're just gonna have to put ourselves in more positions like that. Unlucky. One other thing I'd say is, I don't know, after experiencing this match with this item, I don't think Thunder Sky is a Darius I am. I think it's more for like these revitalized champions like Aatrox, so that they can really make use of the maximized heal. But Darius, not so much. Which is why I start going Blood Mail, as you probably already... Sorry, there's a lot of Earth games right here. But yeah, I changed over to Blood Mail. There might be a, Spirit Shoujin somewhere or whatever. Anyways, but that's just me. In other news, we're doing pretty a-okay. So this is going to be a good, probably end to the year. That's pretty good. It was important for me to watch a match like that because it featured a situation I constantly find myself in. So if I really break it down and analyze it, it could help me in the future for an even better performance. And, a couple more jokes here and there because I don't like rats. I need to find a mousetrap or something, Anyways, thank you for watching today's video. Do the YouTube usuals, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video, and watch more videos. Anyways, that's it from me. All links are down in the description below. Have a nice rest of your day, and peace. Late.